G'day viewers, I'm Simon Christie and this is Life Off-Road. Restrictions, lockdowns and COVID-19 have absolutely smashed 2020. So this week we've got something a little bit different for you. We're not just going to show you where to go, we've got a couple of experts along to help out. We're going to give you the advice on what to do when you get there. We're on a freezing cold location in central Victoria and we've got an awesome day planned on private property. For now, let's go wheeling, Life Off-Road style. Everyone on channel?
Yep. Okay, you guys ready to hit some tracks?
Yeah, let's get into it, Simon.
You all know how passionate I am about off-roading. One of the things though I love most about four-wheel driving is sharing it with mates. And that includes you, and today I'm taking you all with me in our trusty old workhorse.
Very lucky guys to have access to this beautiful property. It's really got a good diversity of hills, gullies and nice four-wheel driving tracks. Yeah, stunning.
Part of the world and a nice easy run out of Melbourne to get here as well.
I've had this Land Cruiser for just over 3 years now and it's been a really terrific multi-purpose vehicle. It's my day-to-day drive and then regularly I'm away fishing. The style of fishing I do is purely freshwater fishing and that requires me to get into some pretty remote areas. You'll regularly see me with this vehicle and the boat behind me.
Looks like we've got a bit of a lake coming up here on our left, Simon.
I hear a rumour there might be some Murray cod in there, Frosty, so what do you reckon about that?
Well, Simon, you know I always like to carry a bit of fishing gear with me, so I've got a couple of
rods in the car, a selection of lures, so I reckon we have a bit of a crack later on actually.
It's funny you mentioned that. I might have some fish on board because none of you fishermen have ever produced on a shore. So the 100 series is not my everyday driver, so I've got it set up exactly for what I like doing. Most of that is four-wheel driving and cooking. This has absolutely everything I need to go away, whether it's an overnight trip or whether I'm going away for a week. I can pack this and I've got everything inside it that I'll ever need. I've got a frying pan on board.
No, this is a catch and release fishing trip, so Murray cod is
far too prized a fish to end up in your stomach, Mike.
Matt's invited me out here today. We both have the 200 series set up a little bit differently, but essentially all roads lead to the one place, and that's getting out here, really enjoying the simple things, and more importantly, good mates.
Stunning view of the hills up ahead of us. Never really get sick of it, do you? That highest peak at about 2 o'clock from where I am now. We're actually going to get our way up to there later today.
might be a nice little sunset viewing platform.
Hey Mike, I've spotted a fun little challenge in here. I think it's a bit too much for the 200s, but if you want to have a crack at it?
Why not?
We've got a seriously tight little pinch here. I think we can make it. Let's see how we go. Good to go, Frosty?
Yeah, copy Simon.
I'm going to try the first go coming up pretty high on that bank to your left and actually come up sort of the middle of the track and avoid being anywhere near the tree.
That's what I was going to suggest you do as well. Just, I wouldn't go too high up that bank. I reckon if you aim the middle of the car for me, you should be right. Just got to drop into low range.
That'll be better, low range.
Okay, bring it up, keep it up. You're going well, going well. Awesome, nicely driven, Simon.
What do you reckon, Frosty, 200?
Well done, nicely done, Simon. I reckon we let Mike have a crack in his twin diff locked 100 series. Just remember the shepherd's pies and the travel buddies in the back. Piece of cake, nicely driven, mate.
Come on, you can do it. Go get your 200. Get your car.
Mike, get us lunch.
Located at the northern tip of the Black Range, this property has a number of easy four-wheel drive tracks that are perfect for dusting off our 4x4 skills as well as working up a healthy appetite.
Love setting up the car the way I have it. I've got a big full-on bull bar at the front of it. I do a lot of rural driving and unfortunately we've got things that hop out in front of us. I've also got our driving lights. Love that, gives me vision about 1 kilometre down the road, which turns nighttime absolutely into daylight when you turn them on. It's unbelievable to drive under. It's got all your modern features. We've got everything that I need in the front of the car. Good suspension. I've got a triple battery system under the hood. A 20-year-old car, you wouldn't think it's got a 1-year-old kitchen inside it. I've got the 2 My Coolmans. I've got a double travel body set up, 40 litres of water. This is your ultimate kitchen. I travel a lot of the time with a whole group of people, but my car is always full and I'm the only one in it. Reason being, I'm feeding everyone, giving everyone some food, some drinks out of the back of it, and that's what I love doing. It's just set up for exactly what I do. A lot of cooking, a lot of ovens, a lot of power, a lot of lighting. It's an awesome car. Well guys, I'm at home and getting ready for an epic trip. Just because you're out on the tracks doesn't mean you'd have to have average food. Food prep and feeding yourself is essential. You can do some of this before you go on the trip. I'm going to show you a few tips on how to get it done so you don't have to eat all that junk out there. You can eat really good food. When you do some of your preparation for your menu, get stuff that you're going to use throughout all your dishes. The fruit, the veggie, the cheese, the dips, stuff like this is really simple, really easy to store. You can use it in your sandwiches, you can use it in your burgers, you can use it in your kebabs, you can use it in your fish. Everything we're putting together, I can use all of this and it's quite simple. This is one of the ripper dishes to take out onto the tracks with your shepherd's pie. What I do is I make them at home, it's quite simple. I get my shepherd's pie mix, I put some veggies into it so you get all the meal in one. So I put our meat mix down at the very bottom of the tray. I get it in. Don't stack it too high because you're going to have a bit of liquid flow out from this. Then I get your potato on top and then your cheese on top of that. That's how simple it can be, guys. You can have this stuff frozen down a few weeks beforehand. You can do it a couple of days before, you can do it the night before. Simple as, get into your packets and get it into the fridge. So this is one of the simple prep meals we do, it's just a simple beef kebab. So it's just a pre-bought kebab, you can buy them in the supermarket in a small little cheap packet, only about $6 I think for 6 of them. Into a little bit of your pre-done pita bread, over the coals for a couple of minutes, just or in a frying pan. A couple of dips, all we've done is gone with some tzatziki and a little bit of hummus. And you got yourself a very simple meal, small little bit of lettuce. Now you could put cheese, olives, whatever you feel like. There's our little skewer that we've done over the fire. Pull out the stick, wrap them up, and there you have a tiny, small little kebab. A couple of those for dinner and you're done. So guys, we did the shepherd's pie prep inside in the kitchen at home. Simple, easy dish. I've cooked 2. I've cooked one inside in the travel buddy oven here for people who got a travel buddy. You just put it in, 2 or 3 hours inside, forget about it. It'll absolutely be beautiful when it comes out. And I've done the other one on top of the open fire, just sitting on top of a griddle plate. Now have a look at this. Shepherd's pie. So this is the other one we've done. This has been sitting on top of the fire here with some hot coals underneath it. And have a look at that. You can see the butter starting to ooze out of that potato. It'll be absolutely beautiful. Let's dish this up for lunch.
What do you reckon, eh? How good's that? Beautiful thing to have for lunch, especially on a day like today with a little bit cold, a bit drizzly. Nothing better than a hot lunch over the fire.
Absolutely delicious. You cannot beat hot food when you're out here four-wheel driving. Having a fridge freezer in the back of your four-wheel drive will drastically change the way you eat and what you eat when you're off-road. This stuff's made in Melbourne, 90% fruit. Don't tell the kids, they'll love it.
So this is my Land Cruiser 200 series, and a typical Friday night will be leaving Melbourne with the boat on the back and my mate Mark here, and we'll take off with our lads for a long weekend whenever we can. There are deer around, kangaroos and so forth, so a bull bar is really a must. It's an insurance policy. The bull bus certainly serves as a great platform for mounting accessories. I've got a 12,000 pound winch in here. I've got a fair bit of lighting on the front of the vehicle and of course a CB antenna as well. I've gone for this short platform style roof rack because it's very, very close and only increases the overall vehicle height by a very, very small amount. This vehicle is fitted with a full replacement suspension, so we get a little bit more clearance, and it's one of the accessories on the car that you can really appreciate every time you drive it. I really set the back up here in a very minimalistic way for whenever I needed to get away quickly. Obviously I've got the fridge on top here, so that's running off a dual battery system, and I just leave this on all the time. In here I've got things like tools. There's an air compressor mounted in behind this rear quarter panel, and you can see I've got outlets here. In here I've got all my recovery gear. This drawer I keep all my food in, and in this drawer all the time I've got fishing gear. The gear I've got on the tailgate here, I carry with me in the back of the car all the time. We've got a range of lures, a travel rod, reel, and just a bit of hardware. So I'm going to set this travel rod up first, and then I'm going to just have a little wander around this dam and just flick some lures into the shallows and just see if we can pick anything up. This dam, I would imagine, would have quite a few yabbies in it, so I'm actually going to pick a lure out. It's called a hectic yabby, and as you can see, it looks like a yabby. I figure that the fish will be used to eating these, so we'll make this our first one. We'll give that a few casts in a few different spots. With native fish, you don't want your lure going too quickly, so just a nice, slow retrieve in. Okay, we're in, boys. There we go, hold them nice and tight. And that, folks, is a Murray cod on the hectic yabby. Beautiful fish. See the mouth on these, when they get to 1.2, 1.3 metres, they'll eat basically anything that fits in their mouth. Okay, let's get him back. Was I expecting that? Yeah, absolutely. That's why they call me the cod hunter. I always catch Murray cod. You're not getting that on camera, are you?
This is our 2012 RG Colorado. It is kitted out with just about everything. Let's take a closer look. Taller tyres give us more clearance. The off-road construction gives us a stronger sidewall, and the aggressive tread gives us maximum traction off-road. Have a look at the battle scars on this. The side steps offer sill protection for the vehicle, as well as making it easier to get in and out. The suspension in this vehicle is set for load carrying and towing. It also gives improved comfort, ride and handling, and better articulation for the tricky stuff. A steel full hoop bull bar finishes off the business end of this vehicle. It gives us maximum protection, but also is a platform for mounting accessories like an antenna, a combination of driving lights, and the VRS winch that we're going to be using today. If you do go four-wheel driving, you are going to get stuck, and that's when you're going to need recovery equipment like the recovery kit we have here. First up, you've got the bag. This should be heavy duty. It's going to protect your gear as well as being easy to carry. You've got your snatch strap. You've got a tree trunk protector, a stabilizer or an equalizer strap. And you've got your winch extension strap if your winch cable isn't long enough to reach the anchor point. There are plenty of other things that come in a recovery kit. You are definitely going to need one of these, a winch damper. There may be an instance where you need a snatch block. Shackles, whether they're bow shackles, D shackles or soft shackles, should always come with a rating. And the most important thing for any recovery are a good set of quality gloves. In this case, we've got a nice big healthy tree right in front of us. It's within easy reach of the length of the winch cable, so let's set it up. Another popular thing that four-wheel drivers like to do when they're out in these beautiful areas is to go shooting. Now I've got a couple of firearms here on display, but before you can own and use a firearm, there are a few important things that you need to know. First of all, you need a legitimate reason to own a firearm and a firearms license. You also need to ensure that all of your firearms are correctly registered. When transporting your firearms, there are a few rules that you need to follow. First of all firearms need to be stored in a bag or in a gun case. Next, they should be stored in the vehicle in a manner that they are not easily accessible to other people. For example, in the back of our ute here, this is a lockable canopy. That's a safe and secure area. Under or behind the back seat in the four-wheel drive is also another area where you can safely store them. And ammunition must be stored separately in a lockable case. That could be a lockable glove box or a separate toolbox that locks. Now I've got 3 firearms that I'd like to quickly show you right here. This one is a lever action. This is a pump action, not to be confused with a pump action shotgun. That is a centerfire rifle. And this is what we call a straight pull. Virtually a combination between a bolt action and a pump action firearm. All of these firearms are legal in the state of Victoria and available to own on a Category B shooter's licence. And one thing I'm really excited about is that the straight pull here is actually designed and manufactured in Melbourne, Australia. Make sure you do it legally and responsibly and keep it safe. We're getting towards the end of our day with one last scenic hill climb. Unfortunately, one switchback in particular was a bit too steep and loose for the Colorado, and it was time for another winch. It figures that just hours after doing a demonstration winch, I'd find myself having to do the real thing. Fortunately, I already had all the right gear warmed up and ready to go.
It's a steep little climb, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, nice little step up, Frosty.
That's where that tire pressure makes all the difference.
What do you reckon, Mike? That's spot on deer country, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. You can see plenty of game trails here. They love this type of country because they got plenty of privacy. They're elusive, they don't get seen too easy, so plenty of cover for them and they can just roam around.
Wow, have a look at that view opening up now out to the left there. That is awesome.
Yeah, you climb up very quickly. I mean, it obviously goes to show how steep this track is. And just a short drive up here, we've come up to quite a high elevation with sensational views over the hills.
It's amazing how much you can see from up here. We'll get pretty much 360-degree views up the top.
Absolute medicine for the soul. Just what the doctor ordered. Fantastic.
I don't care about what the doctor ordered. What about your favourite customer? He ordered prosciutto, barata.
It's all down there. Actually, it's in the back of the fridge. We can have that beer up here.
So that's Alexandra.
You've got Yay. It's a bit hard to see now, but you can see it in the daylight.
Over there.
Sorry, oh yeah. Yay's back over there. Molesworth Township's just straight down there, and Yark's just up on the highway through there.
Okay.
Get off my chair. Keep rubbing yourself.
Vertically speaking, that's a long way down there. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying this with us.
That's a pleasure, Simon. Great day out. We did a bit of four-wheel driving and I caught a fish. How good's that?
Best way really to cook the Murray cod is you put it into a pot, put some fried onions, garlic, put in a faggot of herbs, and then cook it for about 4 hours on low. Put a brick in, cook it for another 4 hours on low, then take it out, and then eat the brick.
I think I've heard of that recipe before, actually.
We have had a cracker of a day. A few 4x4 challenges, some scenic drives, and best of all, some time out in the bush with good mates. It's an Aussie lifestyle we cherish. A huge thank you goes out to the owners, Les and Marge, for allowing us access to this amazing property. I'm Simon Christie. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard. We'll see you next week on Life Off-Road.